Dusk's dawn? What the heck is that? Okay. I suppose I could give that a shot. I mean, there's no possible way that this could be anywhere near as bad as...
He won't freeze. He's too evil for that.
Oh, come on. It can't be that bad, can it? What? Okay, well, yeah, that was something. Something is definitely what I'd call that. This is something. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen something like this. It's, not good. Like, really not good. Calling it bad isn't exactly accurate. A better word is bizarre. Where do I begin with this thing? This is technically the first real MLP fan episode, but I wouldn't exactly call it that. Episode is a very unique word, and it doesn't apply here. Fanfic is also a unique word that doesn't apply here. I'm going to call Dusk's Dawn a thing. That's what it is. It's a thing. Now, where do I begin? Well, let's start with the presentation, or lack thereof. The animation is horrible. Like, they move static vectors over static backgrounds. Scratch that. They move static ponymaker avatars over static backgrounds. And yes, those are pony avatar vectors, perhaps the most obvious I've ever seen. The vectors also seem to have clipping problems, but the animation is absolutely nothing compared to the voice acting. Half of the actors have very heavy accents, and all of them sound like they recorded their lines in one take. None of them have any direction or emotion. And now I'm stalling. Let's just see what lies below. The thing starts with not Rainbow Dash flying around, seemingly cleaning up the weather. Remember how Double Rainbow had Rainbow Dash fly throughout Ponyville just to show off how impressive its animation was? Yeah, Dusk's Dawn has not Rainbow Dash fly around the forest to show off how terrible their animation is, and how their editor fails every technique. Both of them are out of sync. The wings are still going at the same speed, shattering the illusion. Seriously, I could get a better slowdown effect with Windows Movie Maker. Not Rainbow Dash hits his wing on a tree limb and tumbles into the snow, and for some reason he's smiling about it.
So cool! Cold even. I hope nobody will notice I left that hill snowy during last year wrap up.
What?
So cool! Cold even. I hope nobody will notice I left that hill snowy during last year wrap up.
What?
So cool! Cold even. I hope nobody will notice I left that hill snowy during last year wrap up.
What? Okay, does anyone know what the fuck he just said? Oh, by the way, I hope you like that accent. He's one of our main characters, and the rest of his dialogue is just as unintelligible. If you have an accent and you want to participate in one of these fan projects, that's fine. Just make sure that people can actually understand you. Not Rainbow Dash turns to see Angel Bunny stamping his foot, blushes, and then the screen fades. Was that supposed to be a joke? Like, I'm legitimately asking, was that supposed to be a joke? I know that veggie salad was supposed to be a joke, but this, I don't even understand. Let's just leave it at, I don't understand. Anyway, we have an intro song because this fan thing uses entirely OCs, and even more obvious sliding effects. We get all the classic characters like Not Shining Armor, Not Fluttershy, Not Twilight, and Marijuana. And then we get this, an original episode by bronies for bronies. Well, they did say to never look a gift horse in the mouth, but honestly, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I won't be the same person by the time that this is done.
I'm ready to take on the adventure.
Good. I'm glad. That makes one of us. So when we get back, Marijuana scolds Not Rainbow Dash for not finishing cleaning up Winter, because apparently in Not Ponyville, it's all his job.
Come on, Breeze Rider. What if the Denoir family says something?
The what?
The Denoir family says something.
What? I'm sorry, I wasn't aware this took place in Skyrim. Ironhoof? Hitchcock? No.
The Denoir family...
Whatever. We get an exposition dump where Not Rainbow Dash begins telling Marijuana what she already knows. Okay, wait. What is that thing? That looks like you spent 5 minutes in Microsoft Paint. And I love how you put some trees in the front there in an attempt to hide the vast nothing everywhere else. Back to the... well, story is the wrong word. Apparently fuck it, I'm calling them the Addams Family. Apparently the Addams family owns all of the land, and yet they never come out of their castle, and yet they're feared by marijuana and not Rainbow Dash. I hope you don't find these two characters here interesting the slightest, because we're going to be leaving them behind for like 7 minutes. And everything they said up to this point isn't important in the slightest. Instead, we're going to be following Dusk, who is having a very interesting conversation with himself. I am not going to cut out a single line of this monologue.
Sleep well, Mother. It's been a long time since she hasn't been around.
Who? Your mother? She's right there, dude.
Illusions can't do everything.
About what? Your mother, or about this other girl who apparently hasn't been around?
One day they will return.
Who's they? And who the fuck are you talking to? The candle?
I know it. Until then, I guess I have to grow up by myself.
What the fuck are you talking about?
After all, isn't that some special day?
What day? The day when they return? The day when she comes around? What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm turning 9 tonight.
Good for you. Why do you care? More importantly, why the hell do I care? And for a 9-year-old blank flank, it's odd how you have a deeper voice than most other characters in the thing, and have the exact same stature as them. Oh yeah, Ponymaker doesn't give you the option to make foals. Suddenly his reflection gains red eyes, a cutie mark, and a menacing grin. No, I don't know why. And then we get this episode's musical number. Yeah, this episode has a musical number. It's not bad per se. It's one guy strumming his guitar and singing nonsense. So, Dusk climbs up to a tower and finds a book. Apparently his grandfather had a huge power and Dusk wants to know.
Illusions? Dark powers? What a shame.
Gosh, my ancestors were mass murderers. Such a shame, really. Suddenly, Dusk's evil reflection comes out and starts singing about how evil he is, and how he's going to take over Dusk's life. Okay, who are you again? No, seriously, I don't know. Dusk read the book, and his evil reflection came out and captured him. If it was the book that brought him out, why was he in the reflection to begin with? And the evil Dusk wants to conquer Equestria, I guess. Maybe. It wasn't made very clear. I hope he wasn't interesting either, because we're going to leave him to the wayside for a while. You give this thing way too much credit. No, instead we're going to a doctor's office. And by the way, I hope that eye chart was supposed to be misspelled that badly. Did you see that? The C and the P in cupcakes switched places. Why? If you're gonna fix something half-assed, don't fix it at all. Especially when you still misspelled brony and awesome. This here is Mr. Brave. I didn't make up that name. That's actually his name. Mr. Brave. And every line of his dialogue sounds like sexual innuendo.
Things have been fine. Still working on that bridge above the river.
They have some banter that relates to absolutely nothing. And a storm starts blowing. Hey look, it's Paleo. I wonder if he knows about this project. More importantly, I wonder if he watched this project. Oh hey, it's not Rainbow Dash hanging onto a light pole.
At this rate, the tempest is gonna damage all of Ponyville.
Dude, this isn't Ponyville. It was never Ponyville. It will never be Ponyville.
Any ideas how to solve it?
Well, I'm not sure telling the jokes will do the trick.
No, I'm just kidding. That's not what he said.
I'm not sure telling the jokes will do the trick.
No, that's what he said. Which means that not Rainbow Dash is supposed to be the comic relief. Okay. Speaking of thick accents, the nurse, who also has one, a different one, is also one of the main characters. She's a nurse and she likes animals, so I'm gonna call her not Fluttershy. Apparently the wind was magical, so Mr. Brave goes running through the storm that was tossing ponies everywhere. And hey look, the animators learned how to use the clone tool. Mr. Brave eventually runs into Marijuana. She claims that her friend is trapped in some kind of magical field, and she asks him to try and help her. He goes to try and help Not Twilight, and we get even worse animation. Those tornadoes are like the worst thing that I've ever seen animated in Flash, like ever. Mr. Brave tries to talk to Not Twilight, and a tornado flies over his head. Okay, they're not rocks. You can't just throw random Flash objects at the sky. So, Not Twilight is shooting more of these things at him, and there's actually potential for a battle sequence. That doesn't happen. Do you want to know what really happens? Just guess. No, seriously, just guess. Mr. Brave walks up to Not Twilight through 3 tornadoes and hugs her. I am not joking. That's exactly what happens. I got nothing. Marijuana walks up, puts a leaf around Not Twilight's hoof, and pulls off a ring apparently. Then Not Shining Armor comes up and asks what happened. Not Fluttershy appears from behind his back, asking if any pony needs medical attention. And Not Rainbow Dash appears from behind his wing, asking if any pony needs to hear a joke. That's not funny. Not Twilight was instructed to study a ring that sent her into that. Apparently, it has the Addams Family crest on it. And Not Rainbow Dash tells every pony to pay them a visit. And they do! So we finally got our party together. We've got Not Rainbow Dash, Not Shining Armor, Not Fluttershy, Not Twilight, Marijuana, and Mr. Brave. Why the hell am I watching this? And they spend the second half of the episode on their journey. Oh yeah, we just made it to the 11-minute mark. Out of 20. They all stand in front of a misty fog.
I'm not so sure about this. This isn't very natural.
You have a pot leaf on your flank. I don't think you're one to talk.
Well, duh! If it was, I would have cleaned this in 30 seconds flat.
It's funny because reference. Hey, they got a real sound effect. And they must be proud of it because they use it twice. I'm not joking about that. By the way, when you use thunder, you should use a fake sound effect, because actual thunder is just loud and jarring. In the fog, Not Fluttershy wants to tend to sick animals, so Mr. Brave and Marijuana go with her. The others decide to break into the castle. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Dusk's Dawn is trying to tell 2 stories simultaneously. This should work oh so well. Not Shining Armor breaks down the door, and Party A looks around a bit. We cut to Party B. Less than a minute. Really, guys? Less than a minute? Not Fluttershy is looking over a bird that I'm pretty sure is dead. Actually, I'm pretty sure that it's stuffed. Marijuana and Mr. Brave come by with a gurney for the stuffed bird.
The animals we took care of outside are recovering.
Oh, come on! You don't even have an accent! Why can't I understand you? And back to Party A. Once again, less than a minute. If you're going to do this, make sure that something happens. Party A has made it to the top of the castle, off screen apparently. This time, Not Rainbow Dash opens the door and... guys, I didn't do that. Dusk's Dawn did it by itself. Also, on the point, who the hell are you?
Royal Guard, freeze!
Freeze? I'm way too evil for that. He sounds dangerous.
He just said he was evil and he simply sounds dangerous? He sounds like an idiot.
Must be the scepter.
How the fuck do you know? First of all, we haven't seen the scepter yet. And secondly, you haven't seen him without the scepter. Apparently, Not Rainbow Dash has disappeared. And Dusk throws the scepter at Not Twilight, while Not Shining Armor blocks it. Once again, I didn't do that.
Donut!
Wait, say that again?
Donut!
That's his real name? His real name is Donut. Alright, I'm calling Not Shining Armor Donut from now on. So after Donut gets knocked out, Not Twilight tries to take the scepter, and then we have, climax? Maybe? Suddenly, Not Rainbow Dash comes up with a gurney and...
Oh, hey, it works! Cool! See ya!
What? Who the fuck wrote this? By all that is pony. Who spewed that forth from their brain? It just comes out of nowhere. I mean, what? I mean, what?
I didn't foresee that.
Neither did I. And why are we inside your head? This isn't your point of view. So Dusk tricks them to think that the scepter made him evil.
Since I'm obviously cured, you should go back to your occupations.
Yes, that does fool them. Does that even count as an anticlimax? I mean, a climax is the highest point of the story. You can't have one if there's no story. And you can't destroy a climax if there's no climax. Sometime later, Donut is talking to himself. And by talking, I mean he has a full-fledged conversation with himself. Until he comes past a door that holds the elements of harmony. Hey, the main 6! So they do exist. He tells the princess that the elements are glowing, and a few days later, all of the party has come back together. And then we get an out-of-nowhere diary entry.
Dear Diary, in retrospect, I think I should have guessed things weren't right. I mean, in the end, we tried to walk to the problem and bash it until everything was fixed. Since when is that a good solution?
I think that's the diary of the person who made this. And then it ends on a to be continued. Besides the horror of the possibility of this thing procreating, I gotta say that this was the funniest thing I've seen in quite some time. Not any of the jokes, of course. Those were terrible. But I must admit, I laughed more at Dusk Dawn than I did at Double Rainboom. I only laughed at Dusk Dawn when it was trying to be serious. This thing isn't just horrible, it's bizarrely horrible. Even at a cursory glance, I could see that they didn't just put no effort into this. They put as much effort as possible, making it seem like they put no effort into it. At least I hope so. Nowhere on their website do they seem to have any awareness of being this mind-blowingly bad. But I don't see any other possibility other than them being self-consciously bad. It seems to take every opportunity just to prove how bad it could really get. And it gets so stupid at points that I can't help but laugh. Every time Dusk talks about illusions and his birthday, I just have to crack up. Let me assuage your fears. I am aware that this is an abysmal train wreck of a video. It's called The Room of My Little Pony for a reason. And before this point, I didn't really know why people actually like bad movies and stuff. Now I can see. Of the 3 fanfics I reviewed so far, the only one I haven't liked is Double Rainboom. Yes, I really like Snowdrop. After I gave it a semi-harsh review, people thought that I didn't. It's my favorite of the 3 so far, and I'm probably going to watch it like every Christmas from now on. I also like this more than Double Rainboom. Bad drama makes great comedy, but bad comedy is worthless. I'm probably going to lay off on Dusk Dawn for quite some time. You know, until the sequels come out. Am I looking forward to it? Well, if interlude animation can keep it this bizarrely horrible, then sure. Keep up the hard work, guys. I'm expecting, well, not good things, but at least interesting things.